enough about us. Because I want to bring in, we talked about it, when we're talking about women talking football specifically in the state of Texas, there is not a better person that we could have brought on than the director of athletics for the UIL, Dr. Susan Elza. Dr. Elza, how are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm good. I'm a little road weary. Been already started going to clinics and headed to THSCA tomorrow. So that's a good thing. That means it's about to start.
No kidding. I was fixing to say this is always kind of like the initial like kickoff of the Texas high school football season. So I'm going to ask you to give us kind of a little bit of an elevator pitch here on how did you end up here, where you're at right now?
Wow.
If you can sum that up shortly.
I will make it short. How about that? There's always a story with a story, right?
Right.
You know, I wanted to coach. I was a softball coach, and the first year I knew I wanted to be an athletic director. And some people know this, some people don't. I worked for Todd Graham that over at Allen, and he really was a big supporter of women moving up in the profession. And he really kind of teed it up for me there while I was there, and put me in positions to be successful. And I went on from there and became the athletic director up there in Fort Worth at Northwest ISD. When I got there was one school, and when I left, there was three. And then lo and behold, crossed paths with Dr. Braddock, and somewhere in there, he thought I was a fit for the athletic director position at UIL. So I'm very blessed.
When I know we talked to a lot of coaches, obviously, especially like when they move in from a coaching perspective up into more of the administration role. Was that difficult for you? Was that kind of an opportunity that you saw and you said, actually, I think that might be the right move for me?
Yeah, I've always liked being in charge. I don't know if that sounds good or that sounds bad. I don't know which one that is. But I know the thing about being in charge is it's more about just you're wanting to give back. And so for me, it was a natural move. I mean, I have you know how leadership is. You get better at it as you go, and you make your mistakes and you adjust. And I really didn't have too many stumbling blocks because I was supported. I think it really helped working for Todd. This is the part I left out of that story. When I very first started with him, there was not an office for me, and I officed with the football coaches. So I watched film, and
You're like one of them.
I even charted plays on the sideline. I did all sorts of stuff that I'm so glad I did, because it opened my eyes to, there's a lot going on in all the sports, and football obviously has the most. And it just was really good for me, and it contributed to my success as an AD later on.
You've always been a huge advocate for women in sports, and you've always been Ashley and me's biggest fan almost. Yeah. Who is somebody?
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Who is someone that you have always looked up to or kind of aspired to be?
Oh, wow. I want to say this. I had to learn this, because women don't always do a good job of supporting women. And I think that you're kind of seeing that shift a little bit. And I think it was just because there weren't very many roles for women to be in. I mean, you're all vying for the same spot. I always think that's important to talk about. Golly, I don't even know if I could just pick one woman. For some reason, what comes to mind, I'm standing in my office and looking at all my books, and I'm going, okay, which woman, Pat Summitt, and I can't even see her book on the shelf. That's how many books I have. But Pat Summitt, for me, was someone that, it wasn't for her. It wasn't about being a woman. It was about being a great leader, a great coach. And, and she had these really high expectations of herself. And she shared those same high expectations with her players and her staff. And everybody thought she was so hard-nosed. But what she was determined to make people better. And I think she's someone that I would have loved to have met her. Obviously she passed pretty early on, but she was one that early in my career, you're just like, I want to be like her. I want to be tough. I want to be gritty, and I want to be successful. And but there's so many others that I'm leaving off that list.
And I'm always curious, as a woman who works partly behind the camera, but sometimes in front of the camera as well, did you ever want to pursue a career in sports broadcasting per se?
I did everything I had the face for, to be honest with you. And then the second thing I don't have is this. Y'all can tell I have a country accent. I don't think I could ever get rid of that.
Join the club, sister.
I was going to say, you are both one and the same.
It's a twang. But, I don't know that I've ever thought about it that way. I've always said, someday maybe when I retire, I can, do a little commentating on the side just because I love to talk about sports and because I have been in this role and even in the roles in schools, you learn so much about every single one of them, above and beyond just football. And, I had never thought about it, but I think it'd be fun. You guys are good at it. I don't know that maybe I could just get on y'all's coattails.
Hey, I was going to say, we have this thing, Texan Live. You may have heard of it. We got a color commentator seat for you at any point in time.
Let's go. That'd be fun.
I want to know too. Obviously, you've still got a great career path ahead of you, but looking back and stuff in this position, because we're talking about football a lot, obviously, but I mean, you oversee everything, and there's a lot of women's sports, obviously, that you oversee. When you look back at everything you've been able to do so far as the director of athletics, just what's the most satisfying piece for you? Because that's a lot to manage.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't know. You are asking the hard ones today.
Hard-hitting journalism, baby.
I'm telling you. It's been fun. I came in, after Title IX, obviously. And I was the benefactor of a lot of things that I didn't know that people had to break all these ceilings on. And, so I came in at a time where it was really transitioning to the better. And, the girls athletes and girls coaches had more access to things that they didn't in the past, the weight room, equal time on the court, softball fields being built for them, all that stuff. And so I've been I was able to see that transition, and it's just continues to get better. This will be the start of my 30th year in my career. And, I'm grateful for that. I'm more grateful for what people did previous to me than anything else. These women, Jody Conrad, I went to a session last year, and she spoke about all the things that she went through. And so I think I'm just proud for women in sports. I'm proud that, men are willing to accept us in those roles. And I'm proud to see that girls sports just continues to grow. It's incredible, and it's celebrated. And that's, I think it will just continue to get better.
Absolutely. And you hit on something that I wanted to ask you there, because we talk a lot about women supporting women, and that's a huge factor in it. But we know that we wouldn't be anywhere without the men in our life supporting us too. And obviously, the entire Dave Campbell staff with Greg Tepper and Ishmael Johnson and Matt Stepp, and all of them are so good at boosting up this women in sports stuff. Do you have any advice that you could give men too, even like of things that are helpful in order to help boost women in sports?
Yeah, don't judge a woman by her skirt, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's that I don't know about you gals, but I don't want to be measured by the fact that I'm a female and I know a lot. I just want to be measured by I'm a person that has a passion for sports, and I'm credible and I'm equal to you. I'm not less than you because of whatever, just because in history women weren't really in that lane. What I say to men, I tell you what, y'all, I'm serious. I'm not blowing smoke here. I've just been so blessed to be surrounded by people that I didn't, there's times where I felt judged, but it was people that didn't know me, but the people that knew me support it. And that's what I would say to men when a woman tells you she wants to move up and become an athletic director and all the things that go with that, help them clear their path, because they're a part of helping clear the path. And, and for women on the other side, you're not asking this part, but I'm going to tell it.
Please, that was my next question.
On the other side, you're still going to have these, and I saw it on Twitter last year, Ashley, with you. It made me so mad that I really can't get on Twitter and just, harp on people. Someday I'll be able to, but I can't right now in the role I'm in. But it's, those are the people you block out. You surround yourself with people that are going to support you and believe in your goals. And early on, I remember when I said, I want to be an athletic director. And it was an administrator in the school that I was working at. And he said, there are no women ADs. I was like, okay, I'm done with him. I'm moving on. I mean, they're not the ones that are going to clear your path. The ones that are going to clear the path are the ones that that, recognize you as a leader, and they recognize you for your abilities, and don't judge you based on your gender.
Absolutely. Well, hey, go give Dr. Brightup and Dr. Harrison an old little noogie for us, and tell them thanks for having you on the staff too, because really you've supported us since day one, and we can't thank you enough, and you've really laid the path for us. So with everything, thanks for hopping on with us, and man, we look forward to seeing you down in San Antonio this weekend.
All right, awesome. Thanks for including me. Good luck with y'all's show. I know y'all are hitting it out of the park, and look forward to seeing y'all this weekend. Y'all safe travels.